Welcome back, fellow resin heads and kit builders, to the Figure Kit Garage. Brent Krug back again with another out-of-the-box review. This kit is the Joker's former psychiatrist turned lunatic sidekick, Harley Quinn, perched playfully atop of a very battered and beaten bat signal entitled Mixed Signals. This kit was sculpted by Sean Kyle of Sean Kyle Studios. It is in 13 pieces consisting of 11 gray, 1 clear piece, and 1 wooden dowel. Altogether, this kit retails for $165 plus 15 shipping, and it comes in one of two ways. With the bat signal, the actual signal piece itself, you can either have done in solid gray or clear resin. I opted for the clear resin, so it bumped it up another $15. This kit is stands roughly about 12.5 inches tall and is right around the 3-pound range. This is an amazing kit. The master sculpt that was shown on Facebook on Sean's website, I couldn't help but to want this. And he was getting this prepped and ready to go for Wonderfest and had a few available. Now Wonderfest has been postponed, unfortunately, until October, sadly, because of the COVID-19 problem. And I decided to go ahead and jump on this, and it was well worth the price of admission and the wait. We're going to start taking a look at this, beginning with the base. And this is the Searchlight base that this will sit on. Small size footprint for a piece this large overall, which is kind of nice. Nice diamond plating across the top, gear wheel. All the rivets and the plating for the Searchlight itself, nicely rendered. Really excellent sculpt, nicely thought out. And it is signed by Sean. And one of the support arms, a little bit of resin flashing. The mold lines all the way through this kit are really not that bad. Prep work, absolutely minimal. Seam line work, as far as the Searchlight goes, pretty much negligible. For Harley, it's going to be a little bit different, and you'll see why here fairly soon. Nicely rendered, bent and twisted support arm for the Searchlight. All the rivets and gears rendered really, really well. Yeah, she had a little bit too much fun at this poor Searchlight's expense, excuse me. And the other support arm. This thing is going to lend itself to all types of dry brushing, washing, metal fatigue. Yeah, this one's going to be a lot of fun to do. I can't deny it. That back in focus. And this is the Searchlight part, which thankfully is hollow. It'll make setting up a lighting mechanism inside quite easy. Really well detailed down inside. And around the outside, the results of Harley's focused rage towards bats. Yeah, she had way too much fun. I like the idea of this. I don't think anybody's ever seen any of the Gotham villains beat the bat signal quite like this. And the peg for where the Searchlight will sit on the base. Put that right back there. And here's the clear bat signal piece. Might be hard to see the actual logo. Definitely victim of Harley's violence, but frosted so that the light source will be slightly diffused, which is really, really nice. And as you can see, this thing is not meant to sit perfectly flat. I thought the piece itself might have been warped either during the casting process or during shipping, but it's not. Looking at the photos on Facebook, this is actually how it is supposed to sit in the spotlight itself. Beaten, twisted, and bent, but rendered really, really well. Just have to mask off the actual lighting area when I do the bat logo. Pretty cool, I got to admit, it's a pretty original idea. And then we move on to Harley herself. Start off with the main body, and this is the Batman the Animated Series version Harley Quinn, done in a more realistic fashion by the onesie she's always wearing. Nice split seams down the center and along the just below the breast area around the rib cage, like masking this outfit off quite easily. Sorry about the camera shake. The little diamonds her outfit is notorious for. The little fluff balls around the collar. Like I said, seam work will be really minor just to get those blended in. Won't be that bad. Her little booties rendered nicely. Look like he did a little bit of repair work on it. Possibly part of it broke off. More diamonds on her butt. Diamonds on the forearm, diamonds on the upper arm area, and a little notch on the left shoulder, which is where the wooden dowel is going to lay in for the mallet. Cleanup won't be too bad on that. And the right leg, as with the rest of the body, seam work. Be quick, simple, and painless. And the notches in the back are actually supposed to be there because her leg is actually going to be resting up against the bat signal, because this her left foot will actually sit on part of the edge of the signal itself, and the right foot is going to dangle off. Very nicely rendered. We'll definitely have to make sure that there are zero defects in that when this thing is ready for paint. Nice diamonds in the upper part of the thigh. And her right arm and hand cast in one piece with all the frills. A little bit of flashing to clean up, but that won't matter. I think probably one of the most tedious parts for this is going to be masking it off, because her suit is primarily black and red with the exception of the white collar and the tufts around the collar and off the top of her mask. And this part right here, those will have to be masked off, but just the black and red, be a little bit tedious masking that off, but I love a good challenge. Nothing wrong with a good challenge every now and again. And then this is the left hand, which will actually hold the mallet. Sorry about the focus. The frills around there, nicely executed. And the little groove will actually, where the dowel will fit into. I'm going to try and assemble her on top of this as best I can. She sits kind of precariously. There's really no way to really pin her properly, and you'll see why. And this is the mallet, the bottom of the mallet handle. It will not focus worth a hoot. There we go. And that'll just glue on. I'll probably wind up pinning that whether I like it or not. Nicely sculpted. And then the portrait. Not a lot of detail to the face, but this is definitely the animated series Harley Quinn, which is where she originated from. Got that playful grin. Detail and sculpting around the eyes is actually really elegant and really beautiful. Her little domino mask. And one of the little tufts did break off, but that that'll be easily repaired. Gluing that back on, that won't be a problem. Again, seam lines, not a real obstacle. Then we have a piece of wooden dowel for the mallet itself. Very nice of him to include that. And then we come to the mallet head, sculpted very nicely. Oversized mallet as is the one she always carries. Wood grain, sculpted in exceptionally well. I've already got ideas in mind on how to render this one in particular. Just really, really nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this video on pause real quick, come back, and I'll show you what she looks like assembled. Be right back. And we're back. Thank you for waiting. I'm sorry that took so long. This is what Harley will look like fully completed. Just an amazing piece. I'm using Quake Putty to hold her in place, as well as to hold the mallet in place and her head and right arm. But pin this around a little bit, spin her. I want to be careful. Don't want to screw this one up, and don't want to break it either. So let's pull back a little bit, and there she is. Mixed Signals by Sean Kyle Studios. You can get a hold of Sean through his Facebook page, through private messenger. I'll leave links in the comments below for that. But for $165 plus 15 shipping plus an additional 15 for the clear spotlight piece, this kit was well worth the cost. I've already got ideas in mind for adding to it to put her on a base, and to get this lit up with some LEDs, make it look really good. So definite out of the park home run for Sean Kyle on this sculpt. If any of you are not familiar with his work, he's done quite a few kits for numerous producers. He's just releasing a kit of Lisa from the 1980s comedy film Weird Science, which I think is only the second kit of her that has ever been done, but his looks fantastic. As well as a kit that I picked up a very long time ago from Kit Kong's Model Mansion called The Bride of Frankenstein Re-Engaged. Sean has got a hell of a lot of sculpting talent, and it shows with everything he's done in the past and what he's continuing to do, especially with this kit, as well as the Lisa and some of the post-apocalyptic Vixen kits that he's come up with. He's definitely got a creative mind, and his talent for sculpting really shows in his work. So check it out, pick one up during the stay-at-home orders. You could do a heck of a lot worse than a kit like this, believe me. Well worth it every step of the way. Big shout out to Sean Kyle for getting me this kit. And believe me, when I get the room for this, she will get built and painted as fast as possible. Pinning this to the base, because of the way she sits, and I'll turn this around, is going to be a little bit precocious, to say the least, because she sits right on the clear cast resin piece, not on the actual spotlight itself. So I may have one of two options: drill through the resin and pin her to that, and then use the two-part steel reinforced epoxy that I have to glue that spotlight to the base, or try and pin her to that somehow. I'm just not sure how that's going to work without that pin being seen. But as you can tell, it's the gap between her and the actual spotlight is pretty evident. But that's what this hobby's about. Pretty creative. Gratuitous butt shot. Wish I could zoom out a little bit more, but my camera support arm only goes so far. Still using my phone. Trying to save up for a decent HD video camera, but kits like this keep coming out, so that's pretty much shot in the foot. And the notches for her right leg line up really nice. There's also a notched area in the back of her right leg for where it'll sit along the spotlight itself. But this thing is actually really well balanced. I mean, I'm not holding on to her at all. Yeah, a little bit of quake putty sticking her to it, but apart from that, she sits up there pretty well. Really, really fun kit. If you're a fan of Harley or the Batman villains in general, then this is definitely a kit you want to get. This is only the second Batman villain I've ever had. The other one was the Horizon Joker with the safe, the big 1/5 scale resin kit. So this almost kind of fits in line with that. A little bit smaller in scale, but she definitely looked good sitting next to him on a shelf. So give it a look. Contact Sean, see if he's got any available. He should. And it'll be worth your time and your money, without a doubt. Hope everybody's staying safe, staying healthy. With the way things are going, heck only knows when this whole ordeal is going to be over and done with. We can get back to, not have to worry about staying at home all the time. I know my stepdaughter's going nuts. Her being out of school and not be able to hang out with her friends. Can't go to the movies, can't go to the mall. You really can't do a whole heck of a lot of stuff anymore, and it seems like there's no end in sight, but staying healthy and staying alive is the most important thing right now. If staying at home is the way it's going to be, then that's the way it's going to be. Big shout out and thanks to all of our first responders and people out there on the front lines in the hospitals, the EMTs, police, fire, all you folks out there that are dealing with this every single day. I don't know how in the hell you guys are doing it, but you're doing a tremendous job. Keep it up. Definitely keep it up. Big shout out for that. So that is it for this review of Mixed Signals from Sean Kyle Studios on the Figure Kit Garage. Everybody stay safe, stay healthy, have a wonderful weekend. Stay cool if it's getting hot where you're at in your whatever part of the country you're in, because it's hitting 90s out here in Southern California. Stay cool however you can. Take care, everybody. Build a kit.